test. So let's get some practice evaluating some simple logs. First, though, I think we're just going to look at some examples where we take a log and rewrite it as in the exponential form. So these are pretty simple, and again, will just help us realize what a logarithm is, what it's asking us to do. So here we have log base 2 of 32 is 5. So if we were to see log base 2 of 32, that's equal to 5. And that's because 2 to the 5th equals 32. 2 to the 5th equals 32. One little trick as we rewrite these, if we want to take a log and turn it into an exponential, see this little curve 2 to the 5th equals 32, kind of looks like an e, a lowercase e for exponential. Okay, log base 10 of 1 is equal to 0. That's because 10 to the 0 equals 1. 10 to the 0 is equal to 1. Log base 9 of 9 equals 1. Rewriting that as an exponential would be 9 to the 1st equals 9. 9 to the 1st equals 9. And last one, log base 1/5 of 25 equals a negative 2. So 1/5 to what power gives us 25? That one's stretched a little bit. But log base 1/5 of 25 is equal to negative 2 because 1/5 to the negative second, so that negative would flip it and then it gets squared, gives us 25. So here we're going to evaluate some logs. Okay. Log base 2 of 16. That's asking us 2 to what power gives us 16. Well, 2 times 2 to the 1st is 2, squared is 4, cubed is 8, 4th is 16. So 2 to the 4th is 16. So log base 2 of 16 is 4. Okay, again, a logarithm is asking for the exponent that gets us to this value. Log base 4 of 1 over 256. Okay, well, we have 1 over 256. So 4 to some power gives us 256. If we want it to be over that, that's going to mean that our exponent has to be negative, right? 4 to the 1st is 4. 4 squared is 16. That times 4 gets us to 64. Times 4 again gets us to 256. So that was a 4 to the 4th that gets us to 256. So a negative 4 gets us to 1 over 256. Log base 9 of 3. That's a tricky one. I'll let you think about that one for a second. So 9 to what power gets us a 3? Well, it can't be 1. 9 to the 1st is 9. It can't be a 2. 9 squared is 81. So it can't be 1 or more. It's got to be something that gets us down to a 3. So what exponent of 9 gets us to a 3? It's going to be a 1/2. Because remember from a previous chapter, that 1/2 power is the same as the square root. Right? And we can turn that into an exponent. So 9 to the 1/2 is 3. So, I'm sorry, that shouldn't be equal to 9 to the 1/2. This is just equal to 1/2. Because 9 to the 1/2 is 3. And the last one, log base 2 of negative 4. So 2 squared gets us a 4, right? 2 to the 2nd is 4. But what about this negative? Well, 2, there's no power that we can do 2 to some power and get a negative 4. So we cannot do logs of negatives, okay? Log of a negative number is a no-no. We can't do that, okay? A negative number cannot be the input of our logarithm. There's 2 special logs that we can talk about, and these are the ones that you will likely find on your calculator. Some of you might have another log button besides these 2, but most of you probably have a log button, and you see an ln, okay? So these are 2 different logs. One is called the common log. If we're taking a log where the base is 10, we call that the common log. And any calculator should have the common log on there. And if we have log base 10, we can just write that as log of some value. If there's no number down here for the base, then that's a 10. Okay? Just like how we can write x, and that's really x to the first, right? We don't have to write a number up here because it's a 1. With the logarithms, if we're taking log base 10, we don't have to put the 10 down there. Okay? So if we see, if we have log of 100, well, that's log base 10 of 100. And so this would be 2, because our base down here, again, is a 10. 10 squared is 100. The other one that we'll use is called the natural log. I think when we first looked at e, we probably heard the phrase how e is the natural number of growth. So the log that has a base of e is called the natural log. And that one we abbreviate ln of x. Okay? I think it's ln, not nl. My guess is because the more important thing is that it's a logarithm, and then it's which logarithm? The natural logarithm. So ln is how we can abbreviate the log with the base of e. So the natural log of e is asking e to what power is e, so that's going to be 1. So those are the log, again, the common log and natural log. Those you should see on your calculator. Some of you might have a calculator that lets you put in the base. Some of you might not. We'll see how to deal with that in the next section.